Eldar versus Dark Eldar, 1850 points. Welcome, folks. So we've got Contact Lost as our mission. We've got some Scourges, 2 Blasters, 2 Haywire, 2 Razor Wings, and a Void Raven Bomber with extra missiles. 3 groups of Warriors with Blasters in those Raiders. We've got some Reavers with a Heat Lance and some Caltrops. We've got the first Venom with the Archon and his Incubi, and the second one has a bunch of Witches. The next group of Reavers, they have 2 Caltrops, 2 Heat Lances, and an Arena Champion. The objectives, of course, there's 6 of them strewn throughout, and you get 3 cards, and you kind of cycle through those as best you can, trying to capture the objectives. And the other one's kind of squished in there. It's a little hard to see, but there is number 2 back there. Now we've got a Crimson Hunter Exarch. We've got a Wraith Knight with the Spirit Seer down in the corner. You can't see him. Wraith Lord and some Wraith Guard there, just standard D weapons. We have the Viper and his shirt and cannon. We have the Wave Serpent with the D-Scythe Wraith Guard inside, some regular Wraith Guard there, and of course some Guardians to back them up with a missile launcher. So they managed to get to seize the initiative, which kind of hurt a lot. So he kind of pushed forward and fired a lot into us. He did manage to destroy one of my raiders, and he immobilized the second one, so pretty much dumped out a ton of my warriors there. Did force this Venom to jink, as well as the Reavers on the far right-hand side. So my response was to the immobilized one, dump out the warriors and push them up as best I can to kill off as many of those Wraith Guard as I could, and then of course hoping to basically goad in the Flamers to kind of go after those warriors and then kill them off with the Incubi. Now I did manage to take a hull point off of the Wave Serpent as well. So with the Crimson Hunter and a number of other shots, they did manage to take out the remaining vehicles, dumping out, as well as the remaining warriors almost. I was really cut down to a lot. Now, the Viper did move up to capture that objective, and the Wraith Guard started to move through the center, and the Guardians moved up a tad to take a few shots. Things blew up and pretty much killed off a ton of my warriors down there. So I did kind of push up. The bombing run did land on the D-Scythes and killed off most of them. And the Incubi and remaining warriors ran in, as well as the Archon, to kill off what was left over. But they were stuck in combat with the Farseer. My Reavers managed to go down here and assault the Viper, destroying it. Wow, those Caltrops do a huge amount of damage. The Witches moved up there to hopefully come around and kill off the 5 Wraith Guard, but I fired 8 missiles and a ton of shots from the Venom, and I managed to only kill off 4 of them. There was one roll that I threw down, and it was like 1s and 2s. It was crazy. The Reavers, of course, jumped in here and wiped out those Guardians, ready to move up. Scourges came down and fired in on the Dire Avengers, only killing 1, so these guys are kind of stuck out there and ready to die. So his Wraith Guard managed to shoot at my Raven Bomber, forcing it off the table because it got shot, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. The Farseer finally fell. I did lose my Venom and the Witches to a bunch of firing. These Reavers jumped in and assaulted the remaining Wraith Guard, and the Crimson Hunter over there fired on one of my jets and forced it to fly off the table on my turn. Now, just because I had to get out of there, it was jinking anyways. I lost pretty much the last of the few warriors at the bottom there. The Wraith Lord moved up, as well as the Wraith Guard, and fired in, and terrible rolls. I lost my Archon right off the bat there. These guys jumped in and killed off the remaining Dire Avengers and jumped back to hide, while the Bomber flew back on with the remaining Razor Wing and fired at the Knight, causing no damage whatsoever. And yeah, that really sucked. That feel no pain is gross. So the Knight moved up, fired in, and basically took out a few bikes. And I moved up my jet to try and fire in and take out the Wraith Lord there with no effect whatsoever. And the bomber pretty much flew up to try and take a few wounds off the Knight. I managed to wound once. The jet bikes, or the Reavers, jumped in to assault, didn't cause any wounds at all. The Caltrops failed me, and that was that. So overall, it was one hell of a game. I was just moving to the end because I got surpassed just leaps and bounds when it came to points at the very beginning there. I was down to 10 points by turn 2. It was just crazy, and I had like 2 points. So it was a fantastic game. I had to push for the wiping them off the table, and it just didn't happen, and my rolls were just atrocious, but it was an amazing game. Those knights are freaking tough. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick little report, and I hope to get some more up in the future, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye now.